how can we use fear as a propeller instead of an Achilles heel? If your goals are not scaring you, that means they're not big enough. We will find a way, especially women, okay? Where there's a will, there's a way. We get it done. We figure things out. You're never going to get good at selling, and you're never going to sell anything if you don't actively sell. Entrepreneurship is very much about you being a student. You are a risk taker. Why you matter. Why you actually owe it to yourself to bet on yourself. Why you deserve to be the architect of your life. What's up, everybody? Nice to see you. I am so excited to host this live tonight where we're going to be talking about the 10 mindset blocks that are holding women back from starting their businesses. But most importantly, we're going to talk about how to actually overcome those mindset blocks. So the number one mindset block holding women back, drum roll please, is fear. Fear, man, fear prevents us from living our best life every time. Fear prevents us from actually tapping into our full potential, our ability to live life on our terms, and will prevent us from really becoming the best version of ourselves, right? Because if we remain stagnant, if we remain content with where we are, we will never grow, right? And so we have to figure out how can we use fear as a propeller instead of an Achilles heel. And my rule of thumb when it comes to fear is if you are afraid about something, if there's something that makes you feel uncomfortable, if there's something that is just not landing well with you, more likely than not, you should do that even more, whatever it is that is scaring you. Because on the other side of that fear is where magic happens. On the other side of that fear is where growth happens. On the other side of that fear is where you are able to actually accomplish your goals. And your goals should scare you. They should scare you. If your goals are not scaring you, that means they're not big enough, right? You're not thinking broader, right? Your vision is too small. You're not thinking about coloring outside the lines. You're playing it safe. And when we play it safe, we really don't get much out of that, right? And so I want to make sure that you guys are, instead of allowing fear to prevent you from doing something, pay attention. Pay attention to, okay, why am I afraid right now? What is it that is driving this fear? Is it because I've never done this before? Is it because, I'm entering new territory? Is it because there is someone that is in my ear that is telling me what I should and should not do? Like, really think about, where is this fear coming from so that you can address it and understand that fear actually is a very good indication that you should do something. Now, don't get this confused when you're in a dark alley and you feel afraid that you're all there by yourself. I'm not talking about that kind of fear. I'm talking about fear that is attached to your goals. Fear that comes with you stretching yourself. Fear that comes with you thinking outside the box. Okay, that is the fear that I'm talking about. So let's get into number two. So the second mindset block that's holding women back from starting their business is the scarcity mindset. Now, many of us come from backgrounds, especially if you're someone of color, come from backgrounds where we were taught, we were preconditioned to believe that there's only one way to succeed, right? You go to school, then you get a job, and you put your head down, and you just collect your check, you get your benefits, and voila, you are now successful, right? That is what we have been preconditioned to believe. And so thinking outside of that is not only scary, but it also makes us feel like there's nothing else that we should be doing because we've been taught for so long that we should just be doing this one thing, which creates this scarcity mindset. Same thing is related to money, right? A scarcity mindset will have you thinking that you're undeserving of making six figures in 2 months when you used to make that in a year, right? A scarcity mindset will have you thinking that you shouldn't be asking people to pay you at a premium for your services. A scarcity mindset will have you thinking that, oh no, I can't make this investment in this coach because it's the most money I've ever spent before. So I'm just going to not do it at all, right? I'm going to play it safe, right? There goes that fear again, preventing us from tapping into our full potential, right? And so it's really important for you to make sure that you can identify when a scarcity mindset is at play. And it's usually at play when there's fear involved, when you're about to do something you've never done before, or when you think you are undeserving or unworthy of something. That is usually because of a scarcity mindset. And that scarcity mindset is what's driving the decisions you are making or not making when it comes to starting a business. By the way, for those who are joining me here on the gram, for those who are with me on live on the other platforms, I'm hosting a masterclass tomorrow. It is absolutely free. It's going down at 7 p.m. And in this masterclass, I'm not only going to break down more mindset stuff, but I'm also going to show you real strategy on how to start and scale up your business, specifically by going after 5- and 6-figure corporate and government contracts, which is how I've been able to scale my business, which is why I've been able to be in business for 7 years, left corporate 7 years ago, haven't looked back ever since. So if you're here on Instagram, comment the word contracts and you'll get a DM with the link for you to RSVP. And for those of you who are live with me on the other platforms, it should be here in the comments. I'm going to post it one more time to make sure that you guys are actually getting it, just in case. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Boom, it's showing the content. Oh, this is cool. So guys, this is like I'm learning as I'm doing this with you while I am on these other platforms live and seeing kind of like how these comments flow. Let's see, banners, comments. In any event, the link should be in the description and they should be here in the comments. If you're here live, let me know if you are seeing them. For those of you who are joining me from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, you should be able to see it. But if not, I'm going to hear, oh, cool. You get to put it up on the screen. Very cool. Very cool. I'm using StreamYard, by the way, for this. For those of you who have ever been interested in learning how to like stream to multiple platforms at once, the application that I'm using is called StreamYard. Just FYI for you guys. But all right, I'm trying to see. Some destinations won't get comments. Well, hopefully people are seeing this. All right, so let's keep this going. So 10 excuses holding women back from building a business legacy. 1 is fear. 2 is scarcity mindset. Number 3 is having kids. Okay, number 3 is having kids. Okay, whether that's baby kids or well-behaved kids. All right, that is another excuse that women tell themselves that prevent them from starting their business. I don't have time. I'm a mommy bear. My kids need me. You know, I can't get away. But this thing about can't getting away or not having time is really interesting, because if you've ever really mapped out your time before, and I challenge everyone to do this, like do it for just a week, 7 days, where you literally map out every single thing you are doing. When you get up to go to the bathroom, when you take a phone call, when you go to the gym, when you get in the car to drive to work, when you go grocery shopping, because you will begin to see the trend of where gaps exist. Because you're also going to track when you sit on the couch and do Netflix and chill, right? You're also going to track that, right? Because technically that's free time that you can be spending on your business, right? Or after you put the kids to sleep, right? After 9 p.m., free time that you can be spending on your business. So I want you guys to make sure that you are challenging yourself to really think about, do I really don't have time? Are my kids really preventing me from doing this? Or am I using my kids as an excuse? By the way, for those of you who are dropping the word contracts, when you go to check your DM, I don't know if you guys know this, but Instagram has a new setting now that if you're not following me, you won't be able to see my DMs. They won't like show up automatically. I think they'll be in like your request category in your DMs, but make sure you're following me so you'll get the DM right away. Because if not, Instagram has now implemented another security measure. So if you try to shoot your shot in the DM and boo is not following you, more than likely they're not seeing it. So don't take it personal. Okay? It's because of Instagram. It's not because of you. Okay, let's go into number 4. So the fourth excuse that women tell themselves that they can't start a business is that they don't have enough money. I hear this excuse all the time. And you know what's my response? When's the last time you went on vacation? Where did you find the money to do that? Where did you find the money to go on vacation? When's the last time you bought yourself a nice pair of shoes or a new bag? Where did you find the money to do that? When's the last time you went out for drinks with girlfriends, to dinner? Where did you find the money to do that? When did you last buy a car? Where did you find the money to do that? When did you buy a house? Where did you find the money to do that? We will find a way, especially women, okay? Where there's a will, there's a way. We get it done. We figure things out, okay? We're used to working with our backup against the wall and figuring it out and making things happen out of nothing. It is what we do. It's like in our DNA, we're born with it. It's like one of the magic attributes that comes with being a woman. So you can definitely figure it out. Just like you figured out how to go on that vacation, just like you figured out how to buy those new shoes, just like you figured out how to enroll your kid in that private daycare, just like you figured out how to go to dinner and drinks with your girlfriends. You can figure it out. And it's the same thing that you will need to do when you're starting your business. If you need to make some type of investment, right? Again, scarcity mindset, the number 2 excuse women give themselves for not starting a business. It all boils down to culturally, how have you been raised? The preconditioning, right? Oh, I don't have money. I got to save. Okay. Now, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't save. That's not what I'm telling you about. I'm telling you that you should be strategic and intentional about the investments that you make. But if I told you, hey, you spend $10,000 today, and within the next 6 months, you're going to get a return. You're going to double your return, triple your return. That's a smart investment, right? So being mindful about that, okay? Number 5, excuse. You don't know how to sell. You think you can't sell, so therefore there's no reason for you to start a business, because a big part of business is sales. And so you allow that scarcity mindset or that negative thinking to procrastinate on not starting the business or just giving up on yourself altogether. But the beauty of joining my masterclass tomorrow, right, and commenting contracts here in the chat so that you guys can get a link, is I'm going to teach you how to sell. It is a learned skill, okay? It is a learned skill. People are not born knowing how to sell. They get trained, right? They get trained. Just like when you go to ride a bike, you need to get trained, right? You start with the wheels. What do you call those wheels? Training wheels, right? You start with the training wheels. And then after you get a hang of it, you take off the wheels, and now you outside, right? With your helmet and your knee pads on, right? On your bicycle. Just like with everything else in life, you need to be trained. So you will be trained on how to sell. And that's how you get better at selling. But guess what? You're never going to get good at selling, and you're never going to sell anything if you don't actively sell. And what's really interesting about this excuse is, if you really think about it, all of us are selling in our everyday lives. Think about it. When you're selling your significant other about where you should go eat dinner, when you're selling your kids on why they need to clean their room, when you're selling a vacation destination to your group of friends, you actually are selling all the time already. But it becomes intimidating when you think about selling yourself or selling a product or service that you have to offer to the marketplace. And the only way to get comfortable with that is for you to practice. It's for you to train, right? It's for you to put in your reps. That's how you're going to get good at it. Okay. All right. Let's look at number 6. So the 6th excuse is debt. Debt. People are so afraid of debt. Y'all, this country's in debt. Trillions and trillions of dollars. Every year, we go more and more in debt. Debt is a part of business. Debt is a part of business, okay? And if you really think about it and study the game, every wealthy person has leveraged debt in order to build their business. It's part of business fundamentals. You have to leverage debt. And I'm always about OPM. Anybody know what OPM stands for? If you know what OPM stands for, put it in the chat. OPM. OPM. That is my favorite methodology to talk about. Once I heard this, I was like, oh my God, that's like genius. OPM. How you grow a business is you leverage OPM. You guys ready for it? OPM stands for other people's money. Other people's money. OPM. Okay? You should be leveraging other people's money to start and scale up your business. It's what banks do. It's what business owners do. It's what car dealerships do. It's what literally every single business in America does that is smart. They leverage other people's money, okay? Leverage other people's money. Now, I'm not saying to leverage other people's money and then think that you don't have to pay it back. Like, you got to pay it back when you leverage other people's money. But the point is, we don't allow the fact that we don't, quote unquote, have no money to prevent us from going to make money. I'm going to say that again. We don't allow the idea of us having no money to prevent us from going to make money, because we can do OPM. We can leverage other people's money. Copy? Everybody write copy in the chat if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. And as you are writing that, I want to remind you again, for the newbies that are just coming in, tomorrow I'm hosting a free masterclass where I'm going to take a deeper dive into these mindset blocks, overcoming limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome. But most importantly, I'm going to show you the strategies and plays that I've used to start and scale up my business. I left corporate 7 years ago. I figured out the formula, and now I want to put you on, because I wish there was somebody that put me on 7 years ago. First one in my family to go to school. First one in my family to get a corporate job. First one in my family to make 6 figures. First one in my family to start a business. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And I wish that I had a network. I had someone that could like put me on and give me the plays. And that's what I'm going to give you tomorrow in this free masterclass that I'm showing. So I'm going to show you how to overcome these limiting beliefs, how to start the business and make at least 10K in your business every single month. Okay, that's what's going down tomorrow. So comment contracts so you could get that link, darling. And when you check the DM, make sure you're following me, because Instagram got this new thing where if you're not following me, you're not going to get the DM. Just another thing they're doing to make it hard out here. Anywho, let's go on to the next excuse. Imposter syndrome. One of my favorite things to talk about. Now, imposter syndrome is when you feel like you're undeserving to be in a room where even though you have a certain amount of accolades, you got there still by luck. You didn't do it because of hard work. You got there because of luck, right? Or you feel like essentially an imposter, right? You feel like you don't belong. You're faking it. Somebody's going to find out you're faking it and you're going to get canceled, because that's the world that we live in, right? But imposter syndrome, just like fear, is actually a very good thing, because it's an indication that you are on the path to growth, that you are on the path to expansion, that you are on the path to doing something phenomenal. That is when we feel uncomfortable, right? It's like when we go to the gym and we have a crazy leg day. In the moment, you're huffing and puffing. Okay, nobody enjoys leg day. I don't care how often you work out. Okay, nobody enjoys leg day. What they enjoy are the results that come from leg day. Okay, but in the moment, it's nothing that we enjoy, right? So it's the same thing with imposter syndrome. You are about to do something that makes you uncomfortable. You're about to do something that's going to make your body sore, right? You're about to do something that naturally you don't want to do, because naturally we want to be comfortable. right? Naturally, we want to chill. Naturally, we want to go suave. We want things to be smooth. We want things to go according to plan, right? But nothing magical happens in that space. You don't grow in that space. You don't maximize your potential in that space. And you don't realize what you can truly accomplish in that space because you're kind of on the sidelines, right? You're not stepping up to the plate to hit a home run. And you can't expect to hit a home run if you're still in the dugout. Shout out to me with all these analogies. Shout out to me, y'all, with these analogies, okay? Anywho, let's keep going. Number 8, the 8th excuse holding women back is not sure where to start and how to scale, right? They're confused. They don't know. And naturally so. It's a very normal thing, especially if you were like me, who came from an environment where I didn't know nobody who started a business. I didn't know anyone who was a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship wasn't even on my radar, right? Because I was preconditioned to follow the traditional path. Go to school, get the good job, don't cause a ruckus, collect your benefits, eat job, continue every single day on the same routine, right? And so I didn't know where to start, right? And when we don't know where to start and where we're confused, what do? We tend to procrastinate, right? We procrastinate because, I don't know how to do it. So I'm just gonna continue to push it off and push it off and push it off until I figure out how to do it. And then I'm actually going to move forward, right? But what is great about not knowing where to start is that is when you start becoming a student, right? Entrepreneurship is very much about you being a student. I have never invested so much in my development, never done so much research, even when I was in college, never always made sure my skills were sharp, made sure I was surrounded by people who were keeping me accountable and keeping me sharp than I have as an entrepreneur, because you are a constant student. So the fact that you don't know where to start or how to scale is good. Everybody starts there. Let me tell you something. There's people that have been in business for years who still don't know what the hell that they're doing. But what's different between them and you is that they're doing, right? They're executing, they're taking action, they're figuring it out as they go, right? They're making the mistakes and then they're coming back, they're failing to try again, right? But there is no mobility, there's no movement, there's no progress if there's no action, if there's no execution, right? So if you don't know where to start, but you want to start a business and you're like, how can I do this? Especially with this recession coming up, especially with like all this economic turmoil, we got this crazy political climate that we're in. How am I going to make money that can replace my salary? Or if you're already in business and you're struggling and you're like, how can I bring in consistent revenue? Like I need to be able to pay my bills, right? I want to be able to also have extra funds to do fun stuff, to live life, because darling, life is meant to be lived, right? How do I do that? That is what I'm going to break down for you in tomorrow's masterclass. So make sure you comment the word contracts so I can send you the DM right now so that you can RSVP, okay? Also, for those of you who are on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, it should be in the description, the link. I'm going to also put it here up on the screen again for you guys to join my masterclass tomorrow, which is absolutely free. So make sure you tap into that. All right, so let's keep it going. Number 9.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Ooh, this is really good. You should know about this. So I don't know about you, but I've been known to procrastinate, especially when things scare the hell out of me. The fear alone would have me stuck, overwhelmed, confused, and all types of self-doubt. And don't even get me started on the imposter syndrome. Okay. After getting laid off, not once, but 3 times, honey, I realized that the security blanket that I made up in my head was just an excuse because I didn't really want to bet on myself. The corporate benefits that had me in that headlock, girl, they went out the window once my job decided that they no longer needed me.
Turns out that I'll save a whole nickel if I cut your salary completely.
The truth is, the only security blanket guarantee is the one that you create for yourself. In other words, until you start a business, you will always be at the mercy of a company's headcount, and you will never have complete control over your time, which means you'll be renting out your thought leadership and helping build someone else's dream instead of your own. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't you think it's time you stop playing small and tap all the way into your power, sis? Click on the link above or below this video to learn my 3-step process, the exact 3 steps that I took to make the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship. And this is helpful even if you don't know what type of business to start and have only one source of income. And this is absolutely free. It is my gift to you. I want you to win. It's winning season. In fact, what's that? It smells like winning season. Okay, so tap in and I'll see you inside the training. Let's go. The 9th excuse holding women back from building a business legacy. And this one has a lot of y'all in your chokehold, okay? Has a lot of y'all in the chokehold. And it is corporate benefits. You know, that matching 401k every year that corporate offers, you know, that child care that corporate offers, the health care, you know, that corporate offers, right? All of these benefits that are cool benefits. Listen, I was in corporate and I love the benefits, okay? I had them matching me every year in my 401k. Like, take advantage of the benefits. I'm not saying that they are not good and that you shouldn't take advantage of those benefits, okay? What I am telling you is that corporate benefits is actually their incentive and their way to lure you in, right? They're like, hey, if you come work for us, we're going to give you XYZ benefits for you to work for us and for you to stay. Depend on us. Build your life around us. Depend on us. What happens when you depend on corporate? It's harder to walk away, right? It's harder to walk away because now you customize your life and designed your life around these benefits, right? Around this specific structure. So the idea, the thought of you doing something different scares the hell out of you. And also makes you feel like you can't do it because you've already designed this life that now you have to keep up with, okay? But let me tell you this. When I was in corporate, they had me paying, you know, you still have to pay your monthly payment, you still have to pay your premium when you go to the doctor, all the jazz. And I remember putting so much money towards this, and I was healthy. Like, I was going to the doctor once a year, but I was paying a lot of money out to have this insurance. And now that I'm an entrepreneur and able to understand what is really the business impact behind insurance and how much money I was spending that was unnecessary, mind-blowing, 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 because it's a trap, right? It's making you think that you need these things when, as an entrepreneur, it cost me less to go see the doctor today than it did when I was in corporate. Hear me on this. As an entrepreneur, it cost me less to go see the doctor than it does when I was in corporate, right? Let's talk about 401k. Let's talk about that. The same way that your employer is matching you on your 401k, if that's what you have, is the same way you can match yourself in your business. The same way. And it's a business write-off. There's so much incentive to being a business owner when it comes to taxes, when it comes to benefits, when it comes to financial management, fiscal responsibility, retirement, children, all the things. But you would never know that because all you've been preconditioned to believe and know is what your family was taught, your family before that was taught. And so they're just passing that on to you, right? And so if you don't know that there's other options, if you don't know that there's other ways for you to get health care, for you to plan for your retirement, for you to actually literally be the architect of your life, it's difficult for you to actually bet on yourself because you're like, wait, there's another way? Hold on a second. How? How can I do that? Right? And that's what I'm going to break down for you on tomorrow's masterclass. So let's go to number 10. The 10th excuse holding women back from building a legacy. The 10th excuse holding women back from building a legacy. What do you guys think the 10th excuse is? What is the 10th excuse holding people back from building a legacy? What is the 10th excuse from holding people back from building a legacy? So, the 10th excuse holding women back from building a business legacy is that is too risky. Too risky. That's interesting. Too risky. I want to challenge you to think about all the times in your life that you have taken risks. Every time you get on a plane, you're taking a risk. Every time you get in your car, you're taking a risk. Every time you leave your house, you're taking a risk. Hell, if you live in New York, every time you get on the train, you're taking a risk, okay? When you had children, you took a risk. When you leased your first apartment, you took a risk. When you bought your first home, you took a risk. You're taking risks every single day. But what you're doing is you're categorizing risks by the type of knowledge you have around that risk, your network of people that have taken that same risk and are educating you on the pros and cons of taking the risk, and also how much that risk scares you. Those are usually the things that are driving your decision making as it relates to risk. So if that's the case, if you're not around a network of entrepreneurs, if you're not around any experts that are doing what you want to do, right? If you're only surrounded by people who are working a 9 to 5, that's all they know, that's all they understand, you don't have a network of people that can show you the ropes, that can tell you how you should manage through the risk, right? And so therefore, because you don't know, you don't have access to the intel, you don't have access to the people, what happens? You just don't do it, right? And you're just the hamster in the wheel doing the same thing over and over again because you haven't been introduced to anything new. And so for you, it's too much of a risk. You're not willing to take the risk because you think that it is not a risk that is worth your time, your money, your thought leadership, your energy, because you're not around people that have taken that type of risk before. So they can't educate you, right? And so therefore you choose not to take any action. You put your dreams on the back burner, right? Or you procrastinate, right? Every year you're like, I'm starting my business this year. Then a year later, oh, but this happened, that happened. I don't know. I had a boo. They broke up with me. I was heartbroken. So I just couldn't do it. Whatever it is, we make up tons of reasons to justify why we do not take action on certain things. But what I'm trying to reiterate to you right now is that you take risks every single day. You are a risk taker. That's what you do. You take risks. If the reason why you are not starting or scaling your business is because you're not in an environment that is giving you the intel and information in order for you to do so, then you need to insert yourself into those environments. That's how the shift is going to happen, right? That's how you're able to start a new chapter in your life. So tomorrow in this free masterclass, it's where you want to be, because I'm going to show you why it's worth the risk to bet on yourself. why you matter, why you actually owe it to yourself to bet on yourself, why you deserve to be the architect of your life, why you deserve to manage your own time, why you deserve financial freedom. And most importantly, the most impactful and high value takeaway from this free masterclass tomorrow is I'm not only going to tell you what and why, I'm going to show you how. And what does how consist of? How consists of strategy. Okay. So not fluff, right? Not these things that you can't tangibly execute against, but real strategy that you can implement immediately. So comment the word here, contracts, here on the gram, so you can get that link to RSVP for the class straight to your DM. And for those who are tuning in on the other platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the link should be up on the screen. I can't figure out how to put it in the comments. I actually can't figure out like why I can't see any comments. I don't know if that is because I am streaming to multiple platforms at once. I don't know, guys. I'm figuring this out as I go, because that's how you figure things out. You got to take action in order to figure things out. So you're seeing this live happen with me as I'm figuring this out. But the link should be here up on the screen. And what I will also do with the replay is I will also make sure that I put it in the description so that the link is there. So I want to open it up to some Q&A. I want to see if anybody has any questions. You can put it in the question box, or I'm even open to going live with those of you who are on the gram and you want to go live with me. Let's do it. I am down. This is our time together. If you have questions about the masterclass tomorrow, this is your time to ask those questions. But I want to see you there. All right. I want to see you there because it's time. It's time. It's time. It is time. And look, one of the major things I'm going to be talking about on this during this class tomorrow is specifically right now with everything that's going on, you know, kind of like the threat of a recession, economic turmoil, political turmoil, everything that is literally telling you what you should and shouldn't do, kind of inserting fear into you and all the things. I'm going to show you why actually during a recession, why actually during high turmoil is when you want to start your business. It's when Uber started. It's when Netflix started. They all started in periods of economic turmoil and a down market. Okay. So don't let that be an excuse that holds you back. All right. So let's go over the 10 excuses. I'm going to summarize them here for you guys again. Okay. Number one, fear, right? Number one, fear. And if you see yourself in any of these excuses, I want you to know that you're not alone. Okay. B, I want you to know that just like any excuse, it's bullshit, right? It's you creating different reasons in your mind to justify why or why not you are doing something or not doing something. All right. That's what excuses are. So number one is fear. Number two is the scarcity mindset. Number three is having kids. Number four is not having enough money. Number five, not knowing how to sell. Number six is debt. Number seven is imposter syndrome. Number eight is not sure where to start or how to scale. Number nine, corporate benefits. Corporate benefits, man, have you in a choke hole. Okay. Number 10, too risky. It's too risky. Can't touch it. Can't risk it. Won't do it. Won't do it. So those are the 10 excuses that are holding women back from building a legacy. If you have questions, put them in the comments so that I can answer those questions for you. Okay. So those 10 excuses holding women back from building a legacy. Let's share some more about what you can learn in tomorrow's masterclass. So tomorrow's free masterclass is all about mastering my shift method. So this is a method and a formula that actually has allowed me to give corporate the deuces and never look back. So I'm going to share that shift method with you. And I'm also going to show you the top secret for winning 5 to 6 figure corporate contracts. So essentially learning the secret strategy to winning 5 and 6 figure contracts and making the successful transition from corporate or your 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship without imposter syndrome holding you back. Okay, because imposter syndrome also got y'all in a chokehold. Okay, also got y'all in a chokehold. So that is what you can expect to learn on tomorrow's free masterclass. So there's going to be a combination of mindset stuff because, you know, I love to talk about mindset. I am a mindset coach. So everything that I do, there is a mindset component to it because mindset is the foundation of everything that you do. Okay. Women don't fail in business because of money. They fail in business because of mindset. Okay. That's why they fail in business. They fail in business because of mindset. So that is why I focus so much on mindset in all of my trainings, all of my classes. It is an essential part of my business model because our mindset will either prevent us or propel us to achieving our dreams. Okay. So in addition to mindset, we're also going to get into the nitty gritty of why you need to start a business right now in a recession, right? Even though a recession might be brewing, why is now the time that you need to start your business? Okay. What are the benefits of you doing that? Also, I want you to identify your business model and offerings to make consistent revenue. So what exactly are you selling? What exactly are you selling? And can you actually monetize that bad boy? Right? We're going to discuss that. I'm also going to talk about the class. I see a question here. The class is at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So when you comment the word contracts here on Instagram, you'll get the link and all the details are there. And same thing for those on the other platforms here. The link has all the information. So we're going to identify your business model and the offerings, okay, to make consistent revenue. We're also going to create your social media content, all right, that helps you generate leads and convert your community into customers. If you are spending time online, you should be making money online. Period. If you are spending time online, you should be making money online. You should be getting paid to be online. Right? So I want you to shift your mindset, right? Going back to that shift method that I'm going to cover with you in tomorrow's class, I want you to shift your mindset, okay? And think about the things that you're doing in your day-to-day, how you can approach that as a business owner and actually monetize, okay? If you're on social media, you should be monetizing on social media, all right? I'm also going to show you how to secure 5 and 6 figure corporate and government contracts, even if you have no prior experience. Like a lot of people get intimidated when they hear this, when they hear that I built a business model around going after corporate and government contracts. But it's less complicated than what you are developing in your mind. And it all comes down to sales. It all comes down to sales. If you are able to articulate a particular client's problem the best and the solution that you have to solve that problem, you're the one who's going to get the business. You're the one who's going to get the business. So even though you've never secured a contract before, it doesn't matter. As long as you are actually solving a real problem and you're able to articulate the problem that you are solving and articulate the solution that you have for that problem, you'll win the business. And that is what I'm going to teach you. I had to start somewhere. When I secured my first contract, I never secured a contract before, right? It was my first time, right? But I was able to convince, right, the largest asset in the manager in the world, that was my first client. I was able to convince them why they should bet on me, right? Why I have the solution to their problem, the best solution to their problem, okay? And that's all a learned skill set, all right? So I'm going to show you that in the class. And then, of course, we're going to go over the shift, how to shift your mindset and conquer your fears so you can kick imposter syndrome to the curb, all right? Tell her to go away. I'm going to show you how to do that. And one of my most favorite things to teach is how to make your employer your business sponsor. If you are still working, your employer should be your first business sponsor. And I'm going to give you one example, and I'll go over several more in tomorrow's free masterclass. One example, if your company pays for you to go to conferences, events, they are paying for you to go build relationships with new people, right? So when you go to these conferences and events, you're not only representing your employer, but you're also representing yourself and your business. And there's certain ways for you to show up in these environments so that there isn't a conflict of interest, right? And you are still able to cultivate relationships with potential clients while your employer is paying for you to do all these things. Okay? This is how we work smarter instead of harder. And this is how we take full advantage of all the opportunities that our employer offers us. Because guess what? They're taking full advantage of you, your thought leadership, your energy, the sacrifices that you're making, your time. So if they're getting all of this from you, you want to make sure that that relationship, there's reciprocal things going on there, okay? And that there's value being exchanged, all right? And one of the ways to do that is making them your first business sponsor, okay? So I'm going to break more of this down in tomorrow's free masterclass. So if you're here with me on Instagram, make sure to comment the word contracts so that you can get that link sent to your DM, and make sure you're following me, because DM has this new setting that if you're not following me, you're not going to be able to see my DMs, which is like ridiculous, because if you're trying to shoot your shot in the DMs, you're asked out unless they're following you. So if you're doing that and you're not getting a response, don't take it personal. They're probably not seeing your DM, because Instagram has this new setting where unless someone is following you, they're not going to be able to see your DM. I think that they can't see your DM unless they are, or it goes to that folder that there should be like a requests folder. So when you go to DMs, you should see, I believe it's like a general category. And then it's your main category, which I believe they labeled as primary. Correct me if I'm wrong here in the comments. And then you have your requests folder. And you need to go in that request folder, because in that request folder is where people are DMing you that you don't follow, that you might want to get a DM from. For all my singles out there, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you're a business owner, or if you're seeking out clientele, you want to make sure that your people are able to get in contact with you, right? You want to make sure, like, if you have people asking you questions about how to hire you, you want to make sure that they're able to get to you. So make sure you're checking that requests folder all the time, okay? So comment the word contracts to come to my free masterclass tomorrow. Let me know if anybody has any questions. I'll stay around for a couple of minutes to answer any questions you guys have around the 10 excuses that are preventing women from building their business legacy, Or if you have questions about the masterclass tomorrow, I will stick around for a couple of more minutes to answer any of those questions. Or if you just have a general question, like this is your time. I am in service. I am in service at this time. So let me know if there are questions. Let me drink some water. Whew. Let me tell you, if you guys are struggling with water intake, just talk. Talk. You will get thirsty. Okay? You will get thirsty. And that will help you. All right. So I don't see any questions coming in over on Facebook, LinkedIn, on YouTube. So I just want to thank everybody for joining me. The link to join the free masterclass should be in the comment section in the description. If not, give me a second and I'll make sure that it is there. All right. And I look forward to seeing you in class tomorrow. Ciao. So let me end this stream here. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining. Mi gente, I need your help. Look, the real game behind podcasts is we need to really understand our demo, aka you, our audience, so that when we go out to sponsors who help us put on this amazing show and deliver this content to you, that they can clearly understand who we serve and what is significant to you and what you value. And the only way for us to get that information is for you to give it to us. So we just created this survey. I'll put it in the show notes. It will take you less than 3 minutes, literally, but it will be so helpful for us to get a better understanding of what it is that you care about, what's important to you, what do you value, so that when we're out in these streets trying to secure the big bag and get sponsors for this show, they know exactly who our audience is and what you care about. So we can bring you the best products, we can bring you the best organizations that are out here serving the cultura, the community, you. So please take a moment and fill out the survey. I'll link it in the show notes. Appreciate you. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love the next one. So make sure to click right here and tap into the next episode.